There are 3 flying luxury hotels you might not mind spending a day on: Air Force One, Putin Force One, and Trump Force One. But which one of these is actually the best? First, let's look at the big picture. Literally, nothing conveys power like appearance, and these planes are big. Air Force One is the biggest of the 3. The current version is a Boeing VC-25, a military version of the 747-200B. It's 231 feet long and has a 196-foot wingspan. The actual plane might be modern, but its iconic blue and white livery paint job goes back to 1962, when President Kennedy and the best industrial designer in the world, Raymond Loewy, sat on the floor of the Oval Office and worked with scissors, paper, and crayons. Their work paid off because the previous plane had gaudy red exterior markings and amateurish graphics. Just look at the pictures, and you'll see that the new version was a big improvement. The classic design might not last much longer, though. In 2018, then-President Trump made a deal with Boeing for 2 new presidential planes based on the new VC-25B model. Trump changed the paint as part of that process. Instead of the Kennedy colors, the new Air Force One would have a bolder red, white, and blue coat reminiscent of the American flag. President Biden abandoned the idea, but the new plane didn't arrive during his tenure. It will in 2026. With Trump back in the White House, the new coat of paint will likely take to the skies. Trump is no stranger to having a plane with a custom paint job. He has owned a private airliner of one kind or another since the 1980s, bragging about his first purchase in his book, The Art of the Deal. He bought his newest plane, a 757-200, in 2011. The plane is primarily black in color with a red stripe and the word Trump in big gold letters. There used to be a big red T on the tail. Now there's an American flag. It's been called Trump Force One since his 2016 presidential campaign. Trump Force One is 155 feet long, has a 124-foot wingspan, and is powered by Rolls-Royce engines. Interestingly, the new Air Force One planes that Trump approved during his first White House stint are converted 747-8i designs that Boeing wanted to sell to a Russian airline company. That went bankrupt, but Russia isn't lacking in aviation. It boasts its own impressive presidential plane. Take a look at the so-called Putin Force One. It's an Ilyushin IL-96-300PU that is 181 feet long with a 197-foot wingspan. Putin Force One is primarily white in color, but it has the white, blue, and red Russian flag striping under the nose and just above the wing, and there's a Russian flag on the tail. All 3 of these planes have appearances that make you think of the word power when you look at them, but appearances aren't everything. Which one of these planes would you actually not mind spending your time on? Presidential planes are built for comfort. Putin's plane is a luxury resort in the sky. There is cream-colored leather furniture with neoclassical finishes throughout the plane, including in the conference room that acts as its command center. The Russian presidential seal is engraved on most of the headrests, sometimes in gold. There are seatbelts with gold finishes too, and that's not the only thing. It's rumored that the sinks and toilets in the bathrooms are all gold-plated. Putin Force One also has its own gym. There are treadmills, exercise bikes, weights, and even punching bags. Putin likes to portray himself as a fighter, so the punching bags help with that image. There's a kitchen on board that's stocked with everything Putin would need to have a good meal. There are even museum-level paintings throughout the plane that make the corridors and rooms more pleasing to the eye. There's also a suite with a king-size bed for Putin to catch a few winks. Air Force One's interior seems more businesslike compared to the Russian plane. The seatbelts don't have gold plating, for example, but it's bigger. Its cabin is 4,000 square feet. The presidential suite is sometimes called the mini Oval Office. This office isn't strictly for business, though. President Obama had Nintendo Wii game consoles installed there for his daughters to play with when they were on board with him. Thanks, Dad. There's also a conference room with a 50-inch TV screen. If required, it's fully equipped for the president to address the American public. The lamps in the conference room are bolted down to the shelf and made of titanium. Here's where things get good, literally. Air Force One has a restaurant-style kitchen that seems more capable than Putin's plane. There are 5 full-time chefs that can make meals for up to 100 people. Air Force One also has a pre-installed selection of sweets and snacks on offer, which can change depending on the occupant. President Trump preferred to have Hershey's Kisses and M&Ms on standby during his first term. There's even customizable packaging. Trump designed the M&M's boxes himself and put his trademark signature on them. The president gets the best stuff, but things aren't too bad for his staff. They get a working stateroom. A permanent nurse and doctor work from there too. Like Putin's plane, there's a gym and a boardroom with a king-size bed. Air Force One feels less regal than the other 2 here. Compare it with the plane Trump is leaving. With Trump's private plane, the gold returns. Trump Force One resembles Putin's in its interior. There are white plush seats with Trump's family crest on the headrests. The darker wood gives it a more subdued feel, though. There's a master bedroom. The bed is smaller than on Putin Force One and Air Force One at queen size compared to king. But this civilian airliner has entire sinks and faucets that are actually plated in 24-karat gold. Likewise, the seatbelts are also plated in gold. Trump Force One comes with a kitchen and a staff of chefs that can prepare gourmet meals. The flight crew provides personalized service to all on board. There's also an entertainment center capable of playing anything the passengers want to see. We saw this recently when photos spread on social media of Trump watching a UFC event on the plane with his chosen Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Trump Force One might be the ultimate in pure luxury, because Putin Force One and Air Force One need to balance the desire for presidential comfort with national leadership responsibilities. So what does that mean for the tech each plane is boasting? Putin Force One has a ceiling of 39,000 feet and a maximum speed of about 600 miles per hour. The range is classified, but experts think it's about 7,100 miles. Unlike Air Force One, Russia's presidential plane can't be refueled in midair. The plane has a special coating that reduces its visibility to radar. There are also countermeasures like jamming, 3 decoys, and an aircraft defense system to make it harder to shoot down. Air Force One has a range of 6,800 miles, but it can be refueled in the air, so it can stay in the sky indefinitely if there's tanker aircraft around to refuel it. Because the United States Air Force is the best in the world at this, you can safely make the assumption that the president can jet above the clouds as long as he wants. Air Force One's ceiling is 45,100 feet. It has a maximum speed of 630 miles per hour. Like Putin's plane, there are defensive systems in place. It can shoot flares to trick incoming missiles and deploy electronic warfare countermeasures like jamming. If need be, there are safeguards in place to ensure Air Force One can survive in a nuclear holocaust. There's no sources that indicate Air Force One has radar-absorbent coating, but that detail might be classified. If Putin's plane has it, it's a reasonable guess to think Air Force One does too. Both Air Force One and Putin Force One have secure communications that can operate despite jamming. Trump Force One is a luxury civilian plane, so there's no special stealth coating, secretive communications gear, or electronic warfare measures and countermeasures, although there may have been temporary specialties installed during the times when he was president-elect. There's no aerial refueling either, and its range is lower than the other 2 at 4,000 miles. Its maximum speed is about 610 miles per hour. Since it's a Boeing 757, its flight ceiling is 42,000 feet. When it comes to versatility and tech, Air Force One is the winner thanks to its ability to be refueled in midair and its access to the best gear the U.S. military has to offer. But luxury comes with a cost. Flying is expensive. How much do these planes cost to buy and fly? Trump Force One cost about $8,000 to $10,000 per flight hour. Those funds come out of the Trump Organization's pocket. Air Force One is a lot costlier, and taxpayers foot the bill. How much? Try over $200,000 per flight hour, which includes the staff and maintenance needed to keep it in top condition. Putin Force One's price per flight hour is unknown. but it's a good guess to be less expensive than Air Force One and a lot more expensive than Trump's private plane. So, which of the three is the ultimate power plane? It depends on what you would want. If personal luxury is your taste, Trump Force One is probably unmatched. Putin's plane is opulent too, but thanks to decisions he made on the ground, it doesn't get around as much as it used to. Probably because its occupant will be arrested on sight if he goes to a lot of places. Air Force One is the ultimate combination of power and versatility, with more than comfortable conditions. The idea that you get what you pay for is usually a good way to look at the world. It's the case here, too. Bye for now.